coming out of the massive snow drift. Some of you are getting restored power, but the rest of you are trying to get better hairstyles out of San Francisco. And then a few of you, stayed late at the casino last night, and then the rest of you are talking to Mitch about some lobster at that lobster bake last night. So, I'm so glad you joined me on What the Chuck, our afternoon's lighthearted update about the third stimulus. In this recording, for the first time in a while, I'm going to have a big update about SSI and SSDI. Now, I'm not gonna tell you wait to the end of this video and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna tell you right now there is no update on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, but I have an update about what other people are doing. And I see now where the confusion's coming from, because always I'm cleaning up other people's mess. I'm sort of like the maid around here. I'm just sort of here. I'm the housekeeper. I'm always picking up other people's stuff. So I now see why there's so much confusion about SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, because I watched some other stuff. And I also have I also have some cleanup about the stimulus check as well. I watch some other stuff as well. I'm not telling you to watch other stuff, but I know that there's viewers that are coming in who are new to this channel. Hello and welcome. That found me after watching crap somewhere else, and I'm gonna clean up that crap in this recording. So thank you for joining me on a big afternoons of recording. The Dow futures are trading up big. They're trading up about 180 points this afternoon, and the this is in advance of Wall Street opening tomorrow. The European markets have been up. The stocks have been up. I told you earlier today, Walmart's trading up $1 on after-hours trading. Tesla up $4. So this is all really great news. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. This is the time to become a member because between now and February 22nd are going to be big days. They're going to be big days because we're going to have the bill, and together as a team we're going to go through this bill and know how to pounce. There's so much really. You need to be subscribed at minimum to this channel, because people in this video I'm going to show you how people are leading you down a path of misinformation, and misinformation is going to ultimately result in you not getting stimulus and not getting money that you're owed, and perhaps balancing your home budgets based upon that misinformation. It's not a good thing. And let's get right to it. First, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. This channel came to fruition during summer of 2020, when a lot of stuff was promised. And I was the very first one to tell you that if you're on benefits, you get stimulus checks like everyone else. No one else had told you that. And with just a 200, 300 followers at the time, this channel delivered a 2.1 million views video, because no one had answered, do people on benefits get stimulus checks? You do. You get $1,400 like the rest of us. In the third stimulus package, everyone's getting $1,400. There's actually no different number. That's the first thing. Let's stay on the stimulus check for a second. $1,400 for individuals, $1,400 for dependents, $1,400 for adult dependents, $2,800 for married couple. First, there's some videos out there that are saying that, and I watched them just today, that were made just this morning, that said, one guy said, we don't know the income qualifications for the stimulus check, so, we'll see how that turns out. No, you don't know what the income qualifications are for the stimulus check. The viewers of this channel, the 380,000, do know what the income qualifications are. You know why? Because it's actually done. It's actually on the bill. And you actually have that part of the bill. The House Ways and Means Committee had the stimulus check part of the bill. It landed there. They worked on it. They finished it. And we have that. So I don't know why that person doesn't know it. The person said, we don't know the income qualifications. We'll see how that turns out. So, wrong. You don't know. It's sort of like an inside gag. The 308,000 followers of this channel know it. Just you don't know it. That's the first thing. The next one is there's another channel that's more popular than this one, has a lot more followers, and that person on that channel saying, well, the Republicans are trying to change the income qualifications. He's still saying that, this person. The Republicans are trying to change the income qualifications. Earth to Mars. The Republicans can't change anything. It's past reconciliation. I don't know why this concept has not set in yet. The House of Representatives are going to call it for a vote on February 22nd. The Republicans have nothing to do with the income qualifications because the House has enough Democratic votes. It's going to pass on February 22nd. I'm not being positive. I'm not being wishful thinking. It's actually what's happening. So that person's telling viewers that somehow the Republicans are going to modify the income qualifications for the stimulus check, and spends 8 minutes telling you that. Also untrue. Very, very untrue. Lord. Okay. So now I want to get to SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. Oh, the Happy Campers Outdoor Supply.com. Updated Purple Power. Well, thank you, the Happy Campers Outdoor Supply.com. Everyone welcome the outdoor upper supply .com to becoming a Purple Power member. I love that screen name. I was trying to see if I could say it 3 times fast, but I couldn't. But thank you for upgrading to Purple Power. Let me address the SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits issue right now. Okay. You, as a viewer, have been told by me enough when things were written, proposed, said by Biden and Elizabeth Warren. I mean, you have heard it from me enough. Let me tell you what's going on elsewhere, because that elsewhere is causing everyone to be confused. One guy today has already made a video saying just in $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. Wow. Is it just in? Is it just in? Just in $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. Just in. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Did anyone drop on the screen if you've seen the SSI and SSDI just in today? No, it's not in. It's fact, it's out. It's out of the bill. It's not in. It's not in the bill. It's not in our pockets. It's not in the plans. It's not in the coffee pot. It's not in the set. It's not in anywhere. Just in. What do you mean just in? Maybe Justin. Like Justin and Jessica, but it's not just in anywhere. So that doesn't make sense. It's not just in anywhere. Now what that person thought would make sense is to tell you what Elizabeth Warren's bill on SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, said, and show you the bill. Now, it looks like a person's very researched when they do that, and I could certainly do that. The only reason I don't do that is because it's idiotic. Once you introduce a bill during a session of Congress and the session's over, the bill's over. Once you introduce a bill and the session's over, the bill's over. It don't mean who cares you introduced, whatever bill you introduced. The bill's over. Remember the Cash Act of 2020? The Cash Act of 2020 can't be, called for a vote anymore. The Cash Act is over. 2020 is over. That session of Congress is over. So the Cash Act is over. So it was very inventive for this person to show you, well, Elizabeth Warren, she wrote the bill and she introduced it with Chuck Schumer. Let me read you what the bill said. In 2020, a bill in March of 2020 of Elizabeth Warren, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, just in. Well, that bill is dead. Every bill, when a session is over, Congress is dead. Now, we are currently in one session of Congress for each respective office. The House, the Senate is not in session tomorrow. But in the House, certain sessions are closed and open, or they take a break and then they come back and the session continues. But when the session is over, it literally means it's over. So why would in their right minds anyone show viewers a 2020 bill? I mean, what do you want me to show you? A 1972 Olds Cutlass? And say, guess what? The 1972 Olds Cutlass um, can take you to the market if you go to the showroom and buy one. Hello, this is not 1972. This is 2021. Who shows something that's no longer operating? Now, I assume the person knows that, but you know, let me turn to the individual number two. So, individual number two today did a video also about SSI and SSDI. And here's what the person said. Oh my goodness. The person actually said, stay to the end of the video because I have a big update for you about SSI and SSDI. And Social Security and that $200 a month. Stay to the end of the video because I have a big update for you. I was really excited. I was like, what's the big update? So what the person did was the same thing the other person did, showed a March 2020 bill, but said the March 2020 really quickly. So if you didn't listen really carefully, maybe you miss it. So here's the bill. Elizabeth Warren wrote the bill. SSI, you're going to get $200 a month on top of your benefits. So a bill introduced March 2020. But anyway, let me talk really fast. Let me see if they don't hear that it's a 2020 bill. This is what's important to understand is that whatever Elizabeth Warren did for SSI and SSDI last year means nothing for you this year. It means nothing for you this year. It's as though AOC wrote a tweet in December last year saying, let's go big for $2,000 stimulus checks. It don't get you anything. It don't get you anything. And so what I want to educate you as a viewer to understand is that a bill only gets you something if it's introduced during this congressional session. Who cares? It was introduced last year. It doesn't do anything. It can't do anything. So that viewer went all the way to the end of the video, say, stay to the end because I have a big update for you at the end. You know what the end, but you know what the update at the end, what the viewer was? Uh, Joe Biden isn't really keeping his promises, so maybe he'll get to it next year. Wow. So I had just watched this entire video expecting I was going to get some big update about SSI, and then the person just said Joe Biden's not keeping his promises. I think the viewers already knew that. That's why they're watching the video. They're like, LA told us Joe Biden's not keeping his promises on us. Do you have any updates? Yeah, I have some updates. Let me show you what happened last year. I have some updates. Let me show you what happened last year. I'm sorry, that's not the news. That's the History Channel. That's the History Channel. I can't imagine, says Diane. I can imagine. I can't imagine someone delivering news as breaking or today as new or as happening, and then showing you something that happened last year that is not only no longer relevant because it's an expired bill, but now telling viewers, hey, you're going to get it because it's expired. Boy, that's really, really bad. So I've seen enough comments on the screen that says, I only watch ULA. Well, if you're new to this channel and thank you for watching, please understand, stop watching anything that shows you a 2020 bill. A 2020 bill is ineffective for anything. It can no longer be called for a vote. It's like someone saying, I'll go on a date with you next year when the pandemic's over. And they told you that in December 2020. You met some girl at the grocery store. I'll go on a date with you after we're all vaccinated when the pandemic's over. Well, just pencil it in. Maybe it'll happen. It's so don't watch something. Don't look at something from 2020 and assume that is new news or assume it is something that can give you money. Now, here's another thing that I want to talk about, and this is coming from Wall Street. You heard me talk about earlier today about how there's a concern that the Biden administration may be focusing too much on vaccination rates as a determination of stimulus when he should be focusing on economic factors like unemployment. Well, Wall Street is doing that as well. So Wall Street can't figure out this afternoon why the Dow futures are trading up so severely, so strongly. They're up almost $200, $300 overnight. And why they're doing that when we still have not approved stimulus amid very bad economic unemployment numbers. Here's a email obtained by LA from Dennis DeBruchere, strategist at Evermore ISI, written today. This is an email just written today. COVID is far from defeated, but the path towards economic normalization is clearer as more vaccines have reduced hospitalization and eliminate fatalities are approved. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's forceful arguments for additional stimulus, followed by Fed Chair Jerome Powell describing maximum employment as our nation's goal, helped to lift bond yields, inflation expectations, and oil prices last week. Uh, well, the second sentence is correct. It did, but the hope towards economic normalization is being driven by vaccination rates improving is not particularly accurate. Again, this is my concern when it comes to stimulus. Stimulus is tied to economic factors, and vaccination rates are not an economic factor. Vaccination rates may cause an economic factor to change, but vaccination rates should not determine how many stimulus checks you get. Vaccination rates should not determine how much FPC you get. Vaccination rates should not determine anything in the stimulus package. Vaccination rates may impact other factors, but here is the easiest way to explain it to you. You have 10% of the population vaccinated in January. In July, you have 70% of the population vaccinated in July. Well, what does that mean for your stimulus? Let me ask the viewers of this room. If you saw that the vaccination rates in the country went from 10% last month to 70% in July, would you think that determines how much stimulus you get? Yes or no? Yes or no? What do you think? How many vaccinations are occurring in this country? Do they determine how much stimulus you get? Yes or no? No, no, yes, yes. Handy says yes. Cheryl says yes. So, Debbie says no. George says no. Catalina says no. Alma says yes. Diane says yes. Someone said yes. Alicia says no. Woody says no. Um, Dutch says no. Victor says yes. I couldn't see what. Colleen says no. Someone says yes. So, wow, it's 50-50. That's interesting. Wow, it may be, it's 50-50 really across the board. So, here's the answer. The answer is no. Vaccination rates do not determine how much stimulus you get because vaccination rates determine something before you determine how much stimulus checks you get, how much stimulus you get. Vaccination rates determine the economic factors or impact the economic factors, and those economic factors determine how much stimulus checks you get. Basically, it's like a food chain. You have more people vaccinated, well, the economy may be better, and then if the economy is more better, then you have more stimulus. You have less stimulus or more stimulus. Well, what's happening in these discussions from this individual's memo today and President Biden's comments recently is that suddenly we're just going to assume that if we have 75% vaccination rate by July coming from 10% in January, that the economy is great. We're all great. Then we're all fine. We don't need FPC anymore. We don't need stimulus checks anymore. We're all fine. No, no. The impact of the 75% vaccination rate of this economy by July, we don't know what it's going to do on this economy. We don't know. I don't know if it's going to be great. I don't know if it's going to be horrible. I don't know if it'll be better. Of course, it'll be better, but we don't know if it'll be enough. 40% of the unemployed people are long-term unemployed. So, if they are vaccinated, does that mean there's a job for them? Maybe not. And so, my concern is the Biden administration and Wall Street are both talking about. Jenny says the job market's too bad. Absolutely. There's only 3,000 jobs created or 6,000 jobs created in the month of January in private sector. And there were 800,000 new people unemployed last week in just 1 week. So that means in 3 weeks, there'll be 2.8 million new unemployed people in this country, but only 6,000 new jobs for them. 6,000 jobs, 2.8 million people. Show that's like, what is that? That's like 900,000 people for one job. It don't even line up. So you could have 75% vaccination in July and you still don't have jobs for them. It's awful, says Angel. Absolutely. So when Dennis Dubuisser is looking at Wall Street and saying, "Hey, the Dow futures are up 200 points overnight," that's because the path towards economic normalization is clearer because there's more vaccines. I don't see the path towards economic normalization clearer. I could see the path towards business operations clear. I mean, business operations are dependent. You can open your store if you have people vaccinated, of course. But economic normalization, no. There's no economic normalization. Do we know where we're going to create all these jobs? Do we know where people are going to get back to these jobs? Do we know where we're going to restore people's loss of bank accounts and savings accounts that they lost in this pandemic? Do we know we're going to put people back into homes that are now homeless? No, we don't know these answers. And so we're about to face a recession, a worse depression, says Catalina. So that's where we are at the 21, wow, at 21-minute mark. And so that's why I wanted to touch on that. At the 21-minute mark, let me give you the big update where we are this afternoon. Early in this broadcast, I covered two subjects. One, I covered that um, the Dow futures are rallying up high overnight, and some people, like this person on Wall Street, think that the economy may be back to normal. That's exactly what's not happening. The Wall Street is reacting to vaccinations, but vaccinations does not mean that your economy is back to normal and hence that your lack of stimulus is permeating. No, you need stimulus and you need a lot of it, and you may need a lot more for months to come. That's the first thing. The second one is SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. Early in this video, I detailed to you the following. One, there is literally, absolutely zero updates on SSI, SSDI since December. There hasn't been an update. Number two, there's a series of people that I've seen watching on other places today where they have taken March 2020 bills or March 2020 press releases or December 2020 press releases, which you've already heard of, and shown them to you as though it's new events. And then say, hey, this is what Elizabeth Warren wants to do. It's March of last year. It's March of last year. And what I told viewers is that when you introduce a bill and the session of the Senate or the House is over, the bill's dead. It's irrelevant to talk about a dead bill from a prior year because a dead bill in a prior year means absolutely nothing. The Cash Act in 2020 was introduced in December 2020. That bill is dead. There's no reason to talk about it other than the fact that legislators said we're going to encompass that into the third stimulus package. We talk about it because they say we're going to bring it back and put it in the third stimulus package. But we can't talk about the Cash Act anymore. It's dead in the water, says Catalina. It's dead in the water. It's absolutely dead. So if you see anyone ever show you a bill from 2020 that never became law, say, why are you showing me a bill from 2020? It's dead. It can't be called for a vote in 2021. You have to rewrite it. You have to reintroduce it and start it from that. That's item number one. Item number two is that people are sort of they're stringing people along with strange words. One person today said, just in $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. There's nothing just in about $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. It's not just in the plan. It's not just in the coffee pot. It's not just in the set. It's not just in anywhere. It's not just in even the White House. It's not just in even the president's table. The president has gone completely silent about SSI and SSDI. And the update is there is no update. And we can repeat that, and I guess I have to repeat it as often as I can. But there is no update about it. There is no update about it. And for people that keep on saying, I got big updates for you, there's no big update. The update is there's no update. The update is they have literally gone silent on the subject matter. And people are showing you stuff from 2020 and trying to tell you that it's somehow brand new and all wonderful. And my answer is that it's the equivalent of them showing you a 1972 Olds Cutlass and saying it's in the showroom down the street, go buy it. It's not available. It's old. It's no longer available. 1,100 people in the room and 500 likes. Let's get the likes up. Let me answer some of your incredible. Oh, happy birthday, Kimberly! Everyone, welcome. Happy birthday, Kimberly. LA, do you know about my 17-year-old adult dependent turning 18 February? Jenny. Uh, well, let's see. First, uh, the 17-year-old. First, it doesn't matter if the child is 17 or 18, they're gonna get $1,400 because we're all getting $1,400. So that's easy. If you're asking about the 3,600, if you're asking about the $3,000 child tax credit, let's see. Hmm. I don't know. I would go to irs.gov and look up the tax credit and look about the eligibility time frame because clearly the child is 17 at some point during the 2021 tax year. I don't know how it works. I would presume that they get it because they were at least 17 sometime this year. Um, but I would go to iris.gov and look up the child tax credit. That's a great question. LA, will the new variants indicate more stimulus? Yes. Although tonight there was a wonderful company, which I've detailed before on this channel, about gene therapy. And they announced today that they're working on a gene therapy that works against, you ready for this? All 20 something variants of the virus. Oh my goodness. How many variants are there? So it works against all the variants of the virus. Happy birthday, Kimberly. Someone else asked a question. When are you going to get to it? The Senate will have it February 22nd. I was asking the same thing. My daughter's turning 18 in November. Yeah, just go to irs.gov. They have wonderful, or you can even do this simpler. Just go to Google and type in child tax credit plus IRS and look for the result that is an irs.gov result. IRS writes stuff very, very simple. They write it simple because they want to make sure everyone understands it. What happened to the retro snap for 6 and under? That's law. That's a great question, Donna. That's law. That was one, and I forgot about that. I've not talked about it because as I joke, there's so many great things that Biden has done for SNAP. Um, I think it's like 7 executive orders about SNAP. I can't keep track of all of them. Yes, he did SNAP retro for 6-year-olds back to August of 2020. I got that right. Someone asked something about 22-year-olds, and then the screen went blank. I can't see it. Uh, now there's no screen at all. Let me answer so when are we going to get the check? After the 22nd? Well, it has to go to the Senate, and then the Senate has to work on the bill, and then after they work on the bill, that goes to the president, and then the president sends out. Then we have the check. Let me answer some 2,000 questions and comments from yesterday's recording. Denise, I guess newborn children get the $200 a month more than the elderly, disabled, and our veterans. Great for families, but hell, the people who need it most. Well said. Rashawn Hatchett. Hopefully, he can get the stimulus check out before March. It's time. Let's get it serious and do the darn thing. Amen. Mary Boone. Discrimination by our own government. This happens when someone treats you worse than another person in a similar situation because of your age. So she's quoting something about age. We've been talking about ageism in this bill a lot. There is ageism. Rose, what about Social Security, SSI, SSDI vets? We've been forgotten. I've not forgotten you. James, that only helps families with dependents. My hours were reduced to part-time due to COVID. I'm single and struggling. So where's the help for people who are single and struggling who are independent? So James, you may qualify for the earned income tax credit. The earned income tax credit is if you worked as an essential worker during the pandemic and made less than $25,000, then you'll get $1,500 plus $1,400. Stay with me this week as we see if the earned income tax credit is paid next year or paid this year. Hopefully, They wake up and realize it's paid this year, so you get 1,500 plus 1,400, $2,900, which I'm sure you would really like. Patricia, you know what Jack Woodstock is. We actually get a check by July at this rate. They've had so many things this darn bill, it's unbelievable. Why they just send out the $2,000 payment to everybody and adults now and set the pendulum? She makes a good point, Patricia. There has people have asked me this question 1,000 times. Why don't these congressmen make things simpler? Why don't they send out the stimulus check just by itself? Why do they have to hold up the stimulus check with so many other things? This time we sort of know why. Because the Republicans didn't want you to have a stimulus check, or they wanted very few people to have a stimulus check, and they had to do reconciliation. They could have done they could have done reconciliation just for a stimulus check, which is a little strange, but they could have done it. I don't think they were creative enough to think about that idea. Just a bill, just a reconciliation, just for a stimulus check. Yeah, stimulus check cannot be alone a bill. Um, it could have been just a reconciliation by itself. Absolutely could have been, but I don't think they wanted to go through all that effort. Paul Manna, this bill will die in the Senate again. No, it won't die. Monica Lewis, Washington is sick. They did an impeachment trial in a week, but they can't get out $1,400 stimulus check. That's true. Um, and guess what? Nancy has another. I didn't lead with this because I'm just like, yeah, of course I'm not going to lead with this. Nancy has another scandal to do next week. Did you see this? Did you see the new scandal Nancy has? Yeah, Nancy has another scandal. As Mitch says, she's obsessed with scandals. She just loves scandals. Mitch is doing another investigation scandal next week. Evelyn Porter. Why are children more important than seniors? Well said, Evelyn. Charles Hooser. Hey, dude, can people get a child tax credit for people on Social Security and SSDI parents who has kids? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. If you have kids, you can get the child tax credit. I've said that a few times, but not as often as I should say it, so my apologies. What I do want to say, though, is they need to know the child exists. So don't assume the IRS knows where the child exists. If you're on benefits and the child's not on benefits, they may not know the child exists. You in your right mind know whether the IRS knows your child exists if you're on benefits. Um, Julie Color, how would you fix it? Let me think about that. How would you fix that? Is if you're on SSI and SSDI, remember, you do not have to file a tax return, but you can voluntarily file a tax return. So if you're thinking this through and you are on benefits and you got 4 or 5 kids, you may want to go down to the local tax preparer and say, "Hey, I want to get ready for that tax credit for when it goes out. I want to just file a blank tax return. Say, hi, here are my 5 kids, and get it in." And please consult more than one tax preparer. I've seen some strange, crazy DMs from people who consult the tax preparers. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, that was a massive super chat. Um, Said by Maria. Thank you for all your help. I appreciate that, said. Very nice, massive super chat. My lord. Thank you. I really appreciate it. 1,200 people in the room, 600 likes, 33 minutes on the call. Julie. Hey, Elliot. Happy Valentine's Day. And everyone's on that comment. Well, thank you so much. With 33 minutes on the mark, how are you? Can we expect stimulus to be paid by March 15th? Um, Oh, I'm not going to do that. I promised a long time ago. I'm not going to promise what day you get a check in your hand, because I've had viewers that are still getting the second stimulus check today, yesterday, and people got it the first week of December or last week of December. So I am not going to tell you what day it physically arrives in your hands, because there's something wrong with IRS and the way they send out checks. Some people get in one day, some people get 3 months later, and we have no idea. It is a Agatha Christie novel of guessing why some people get stimulus checks on a different day. But there we are with 34 minutes on the clock. I'm next live with you at 6 p.m. and then 7 o'clock with Evenings at Light. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe. 1,100 people in the room, 700 likes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share these videos on Facebook. Share them on Instagram. Share them on Reddit. Share them wherever you can share them. Also tell people, come on in. Welcome back. I know a lot of you lost power during this massive outage of electric and gas and heat in the Midwest, and my prayers are with you. And welcome back. Others have sort of come back in the mix, so I really appreciate you coming back home. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Calcino VIP. If you did not watch Afternoon Check, the two shows, Check and Third Stimulus, which I think you didn't, go back and watch them. For some reason, the live shows are just crushing it, but the 2 or 3 tape shows on this channel, people just don't know about. Oh, finally, I reached out to YouTube on the back end on the break, and they said you only get, I think, 3 notifications a day or 2 notifications a day per channel, and this channel has 12 videos a day, so there's no way you'll get 12 notifications. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to post to the community page of this channel for all viewers, subscribers, non-subscribers, members, non-members, right after this video, a link to check to see if your notification settings are set correctly. And I'll post that so you can all double check some of your notification settings are correct. Also, make sure that you're subscribed, because I had people in the comments saying, I'm not getting alerts. And I'm like, I can see on the back end you're not a subscriber. So make sure you're subscribed. In the case of a member, it's easy because you see the badge next to your name. You see the hawk next to your name. That's the benefit of the membership. But if you're just a member, you may think you're subscribed, but you're not subscribed. As always, stay informed, stay focused, and I'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Stay with LA for more.